Oh, it's so dark. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? I don't know if everybody can hear me. Oh, hi, Maria. Hi. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video because I live in two different places. So this is my daughter's house, and then I live in another area in another place. This place you have to see. It's the Hollywood YWCA Wind Studio. And can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I wanted to make this quick video because you have to see this place. Now, I put part of the business plan, just the introduction to the business plan right below so you can read what Central Park in Los Angeles means. So I have the SHEA facility, which is the Successful Service Housing and Educational Arenas. Well, well, it birthed out another service called Central Park in Los Angeles, and it is for, it's for to house the homeless people that are living out in the streets in Hollywood. Now, I was living in Chino, and they're completely the I'm talking about the city mayor and the county over there is completely racist. They don't want anyone my color to service anyone. They just want to keep having the corruption there because they get paid off the corruption. And I exposed that, and I'm continuing to expose that soon as I get into this building too. And how do I expose them? By creating the services here and to show everyone how you cure homelessness. That's how you expose evil. You expose evil by doing the right thing and curing home. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yes, you can. Okay. So what I do it oh, it's so dark up in here. Okay, let me see. It's dark. It's kind of dark. I'm trying to see. Okay. See if I can get any light. Let me see. It's just too dark. So my daughter's so dark up in her place. But anyway, but I wanted to show you how do you expose corruption? You expose corruption by creating the services that work for the people so that you can see the difference between good and evil, right? So the Chino City Mayor, which is a white woman, and Karen type people that work around her, other white women that work around, are completely racist, out of their minds. Because when a person like me submits a bid in and then shows you the evidence that I'm indigenous, not only to the land, but to other states as well, because we were pushed and removed by them in the 1900s and the 1800s, to where I show proof of our grandfathers and grandmothers being removed by the city commissioners that took over our land when they came here from the British. So when you show them that, and you actually apply for your Native American status, and they tell you that you're they told me in writing that no, you're not Cherokee, you're Choctaw Nation. So you have to show this to the city mayor to let them know to connect with us. So when I did that, I get an eviction notice from the city mayor, and I'm here to cure the homelessness problem that they cause. So in order to expose them and keep it pushing, you just I'm just gonna have the services here in Hollywood to where it will cure the homeless problem. So below that, you see what I wrote there is like part of the business plan. You'll see how it'll be done and who's going to be traveling in our Jetsons to help this. So my Patreon members, um, my Telegram members too, will be receiving their Jetsons to actually travel back and forth, because we have to build the development of Central Park in Los Angeles. Central Park in Los Angeles is to immediately house the homeless that are in the city streets here, and then we bring the city sanitation cleanup crew to clean up what they've left. And I'm telling you, if you come to Hollywood, I'm talking about the Hollywood. if you come to the Hollywood areas to where you see the Hollywood sign, and I mean like the boardwalk, and you see all the activities going on. There's like bums, sleep bums living, living on the streets and stuff like that. And the city mayor are okay with that. Okay, well that has to change, because for one, you're not supposed to be sleeping on this in the streets, and nobody's supposed to be homeless. With all the money that is poured into the city mayor by forcing rent from everybody, when you're not supposed to force rent on the indigenous people. Hello, hi everyone. Hi, good to see. Oh, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video right quick, and I want you to. Now I live at my daughter's house, and I live in another place. It's the Hollywood YWCA Women's Center. Now you got to see this place, because the women there, they saw my videos and they're saying, please do a story. They want me to do a story on them. They said, please show my story, please, Catherine, show my story. One of them's crying, and it's like, listen, you really need to show my story, because I have a story to tell. I'm like, look, I know you have a story to tell. Everybody in this place have a story to tell. This is the homeless shelter that I live at. They changed it into Marilyn Monroe and Betty Davis and Betty White used to live at the Hollywood YWCA Center, but they changed it. Well, it's a studio. It's a studio center where actresses would live there in the facility, because across the street is Paramount Studio, and then over across this way, it's not Paramount Studio, but it's another studio. But there's studios all around here. Well, anyway, they lived at the women's YWCA. Well, I live there. And they changed it into a women's shelter. Now it's a women's shelter. So I live there, and the women there want me to tell their story. And believe me, I want to tell their story, because they're all different. They all have a story to tell. Half of them are just completely bonkers, out of their mind. The rest are like saying, do my story. You know what I'm saying? Because, oh, and then there's some in there that are transgender. I've never met any transgender people in my life. I didn't know. I've never met those type of people before until I got into that center. And they're really nice. It's just, if you don't know what transgender are, it is men who dress in women's clothing. Yeah, because and they call themselves a woman. So that's lovely. It's just that, you know, in my facility, I'm gonna have them too, but they have to have their own section. They have to have their own world and their own section. They can't be mixed up with the real women, because it's just they're just and everybody's different, and it's lovely that everybody's different. It's just that they have to have their own world, their own section, so they can't be cramped up with the real women. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different. I would just have a different facility, where everybody will be equal, but they have to have their own world, just like we have to have our own world. Okay, because I'm just confused about if they're trying to replace the real woman. I mean, I don't know how are you going to procreate. I mean, when you die, how you going to get back here? You got to come through a woman. So I don't know. It's just confusing to me. But anyway, aside from all of that, so Marilyn Monroe lived in the YWCA Hollywood Studio Center, where I live at now. She stays up. She used to stay up above me, the floor above me. Nobody can go in that room for some unknown odd reason. Nobody can go in the room where Marilyn Monroe was staying at, and it's locked. And my roommate loves Marilyn Monroe, and she's trying to go up in there. I say, well, shit, Betty Davis stayed there. What's her Joan Crawford stayed? There's different many movie stars stayed in the women's center where I live at. But anyway, Marilyn Monroe's room is closed off for some reason, and every now and then, we would hear like somebody like somebody that's still there, and nobody's up in the room. I'm not saying it's haunted, but we hear like somebody maybe putting down a penny or some marble, and then it'll roll, or some, we will hear that periodically. We'll hear that like somebody is throwing down either a penny or a marble, and we just kind of hear it rolling, and we go upstairs and it's nobody there. Nobody is upstairs. So I don't know, the spirits is there, but what I'm saying is that when you read the part of the business plan below, you'll see what Central Park in Los Angeles is all about. So what we will be doing with my Patreon members and my Telegram members, we would be in our Jetsons. Yes, we have to, because that's our company vehicle that we have to travel, from Los Angeles all the way to Santa Clarita to Oakland. Okay, we would have to travel, and then we would have to stay there to set up the homeless facilities there, because the homeless here in the city have to be, relocated into the outside, just right outside the outside city limit areas, because they cannot live on the sidewalks. I mean, I'm serious. Literally, they're literally living with their tents on the sidewalk. So, like when you want to go to the library right downtown, it's bums. And now, why does this exist? Why are bums living all over this? Because the city mayors today, their great grandparents came here as criminals and removed us from our land. So when they birthed out these children that you see in office today, they're still the same criminals, because they refuse to allow the indigenous people to claim their own land, to fix the problem that they created, right? Because it wouldn't be poverty, or it wouldn't be homelessness, it wouldn't be police brutality, it wouldn't be people, it wouldn't be people who are claiming themselves to be police officers. It wouldn't be them kidnapping women that they do, because they're guilty of child trafficking. The DOJ is guilty of child trafficking. It's on this YouTube channel where a senator was taken out for exposing the DOJ for kidnapping women and children for human trafficking. So and when you and the news won't cover it, because the news is in on it. All the news people are in on it because they don't cover it. They don't say anything about it. They just hush it up. Then that's because they are the problem. They are the ones that's kidnapping, and they're helping it along. Okay, well, my facility has a television station network. It has a housing facility. So when you're hired at my facility, you're automatically housed. You automatically have permanent housing, and you would work for the company. Okay, to help facilitate these homeless people and transfer them over to a better area in a rural area, which is called the Central Park in Los Angeles. It's down on the description below. And I have the business plan because I'm in negotiations with the Los Angeles City Mayor. I have an appointment on the 28th, and then I have an appointment in September. That's for the film industry that I'm going to be making, the film studio, because it has to be a film studio where I can announce what's going on, and you can see it in a movie, you can see it on news, you know what I mean? Because the current news industry and Hollywood industry are only for their agenda, okay? Because they removed us from our homes. NBC helped with the city mayor in 1910, helped with them. The news that you see, all of the news, NBC News, all the news, they helped the city mayor remove us from our homes in 1910. That's why their studios are there. Okay, well, they're for their own agenda. They're not for us, obviously, because we're in this predicament where people like me are in jail for housing evictions. Okay, well, my film studio would be would be there to not only expose what's going on, but to release the people and bring them into a facility that they need to be, instead of in prison. So instead of them being in prison from housing eviction, they would have to be permanently housed, probably working for the company, or just living their life, because they're not supposed to be evicted from their home if they're indigenous to the land. If you're indigenous to the land and you can't pay the rent and they evict you out and you end up going to jail, that's a crime. Okay, so my company is here to not only expose that, but to solve the problem so that it won't be any homelessness anymore. Why is it homelessness? I keep telling you, because the city mayor removed us, right? Okay, so they can't possibly fix it. They can't fix the problem if they cause the problem. So if the city mayor has been causing the problem, then they can't fix it. Okay, well, you have to have somebody like me to come in to set my own company to fix the problem that they can't solve, that they refuse to solve. And a lot of it is because we've been taken over by people who look like they're human, but they're not human. And you could look at that on just type it in on YouTube, type in people are not really human, or type in net most wanted. Go ahead, look at net most wanted, or look at the TikTok video. Oh man, I'm going to show you this one video where they validated what I was talking about the Hitler situation, to where he was right. And because he was saying that there's people here that are not human. They're not human. They will, I mean, they're not. If they're not human, then and they want to, then we have a problem here. If somebody is looking like you, but they're not human, then we have a problem. You got to figure out, well, what is it? If you're not human and you look like us, and you got two arms and a head and you look normal, you look like a human being, but you're not, there's something, it's a problem. We have to identify who's who, because the ones who are not human seems to bring the pain. They bring the problem, the drama. They bring the tyranny to you. Because if you have city mayors and you have news channels and television station networks, right? And they all know that it's a homeless problem and people are being murdered, kidnapped, and they don't say nothing about it. Those are the ones who are not human, looking at you like, oh, it's like, no, if you're not human and you're bringing the pain and you're bringing this tyranny, you're going to have to step aside and let somebody that know how to fix the problem fix the problem. If not, it'll just continue to, we just continue to suffer here. And we can't continue to suffer when we already know we already know who the problem is. Who is the problem? The problem is the city mayor, who knows that they know that a crime is being committed against the people, but they do nothing about it. That's the crime. That's a crime. If you know what, what I'm saying, if you know that there is a problem, like let's say there's homelessness, obviously, and there's someone with the cure, but you stop the person from coming through and presenting her business plan and presenting the cure. If you stop that person, then people are going to be looking at you like, what's going on? Why would you stop this woman from creating the promised land or creating services that would solve the homeless problem? For one, the number one problem is that the city mayor came to our country, removed us from our homes, and now is telling us that we got to pay rent on our own land. This is the problem, because a lot of us can't afford to pay rent, or is not obligated to pay rent and not supposed to pay rent. Every time we pay rent, it's against our being. Like, why are we paying rent to you? What are we paying rent to? I mean, and then on top of that, if you build a house, why are you continue to paying rent when it's already built? It ain't going nowhere. So who you paying rent? Who you paying all this rent to, this money, when it's already built? If it's already built, it ain't going nowhere. So what you paying on it for? See, because the government believes that you owe them everything. Like, well, you owe me this because I built this. Bitch, I didn't ask you to build it. That's the problem. We didn't ask you to build nothing. So if you said, well, we built this structure here, so you got to pay us. No, we don't have to pay you shit. Where did you get the resources? Did you pull it out the sky? Nah, bitch, the resources came from the ground. You built it from the ground. So it's our resources. So how are we going to pay you? How are we going to pay you when it's our resources? We didn't ask you to build it. So we're telling the city mayor, we didn't ask you to build none of these houses and apartments that we have to apply to and move into. A cat, a dog, a muskrat, a damn animal have a home. They dig in it. You know, there's squirrels, there's animals that have a home. They built their own home. Did you ask them to pay any rent? Really, seriously, ask a city mayor, hey, you know, these animals that's living up in these trees, you know, they have their own home, right? You know, they built their own home. Did you ask them to pay any rent? No, because you can't buy land. My great grandfather was saying that they came in, right? They came in because my father was saying that they came in and removed us. But they came in and saying that we want to buy your land first. We want to buy your land first. They laughed at him. What you mean buy land? What, you want to buy the sky too? Here you go. How much you want to pay for the sky? See, it don't make any sense. You want to, you know, the white people come over here. They want to buy land. You can't buy land. You take your ass over there and you just stay over there and mind your own fucking business. That's what the white people were supposed to do when they came here, but they didn't. They built fortresses and they built guns and they came and shoot us and shot us out of our homes. So now we forced to pay rent by their law. They made up this law. They made up taxes, insurance. Man, I can't even drive my own car. Huh? I can't drive my car because they require you to have, you know, you got to pay for this. You got tickets. Well, if you got tickets, you can't drive. This is like, wow. You can't drive your own car because you got tickets now. From who? From the city mayor. They came over here as criminals. Then they put all kind of different payments you got to pay on this and that. For an example, another one too. You buy a computer. You buy a computer, right? It's supposed to come with Wi-Fi. No, you got to pay separate Wi-Fi for that. So you buy a computer that don't come with Wi-Fi. You got to pay for that every single month when it's free. See, because this is how they do. White people will come in and they'll steal your shit and then they'll say, well, you owe me. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So now this is what I'm just letting you know. This is the truth. This is what Hitler was trying to say. He was saying, this is the problem. Hitler was saying, he said, this is the problem. They'll come into your country and make you pay for this because this is what he was talking about. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem. You have to set up your own company to have a law firm to combat these parasite money sucking mayors and their services. Like, damn. You have to have a law for the people so that we won't be bombarded by your abuse and your corruption, city mayor, and news and all of you news channels that just sit by with your biased ass. You have to help the indigenous people to approve the services so that we won't die by you being on our land. You see, as just bona fide criminals, just fat and shit, fat as a fucking house. You walking around here fat from off the blood of the saints. You murdering our people. Then you got nerve enough to point at us, like point at our men. Where if the men is walking in a group, then you'll call them a gang. Look, bitch, what are you? What is the police department? The police department are a bunch of cowards. If you get one of them by themselves and you confront one of them, I'm telling you, they're gonna cry like a bitch. I'm telling you, this man had the sheriff that came to my house. You know, he was really scared of me because it was just me and him, and no one can see what I was saying to this man. But I was letting him know how the city mayor is a corrupt person, very racist, that you're working for. And now that you're working for her, you looking like a racist too. So I'm letting them know, since you came over here with the bullshit and you said you were going to physically remove me from my place right here and now, well, then go ahead and remove me. And he couldn't. He wouldn't. He started shitting on himself because he couldn't, you know what I'm saying? If you're guilty and it's nothing where he couldn't run. He was, I was like, well, where you going? No, you said you was going to remove me. So it was a situation like that. So it's like, if you come and bring this pain, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. See, it's just too much corruption to where no matter what they do, it's all gonna fall. It's all falling. It's all falling apart because they have there's no humility to them. There's no intelligence to solve the problem if they come different than you. So let's say we're made of humility. We're made of melanin, of course. That's humility. That's compassion. They are not made of that. Why you think they're white? They're voided of melanin. If you voided of melanin, then you couldn't possibly think of how to create the promised land. You the only thing, in fact, it would make you feel bad. It would hurt you to even come up with something good because you're the opposite of good. So if you're the opposite of good, then you're evil. And you can only come up with destruction because that's what we've been living in right now this whole time since you people arrived to our country. You shot us out of our homes, and then you created all these, mass genocide in every single community in the United States. Right? Okay, because right now I can walk outside right here on La Brea and Sunset right here and see a whole bunch of bums. You see what I'm saying? And Kevin Hart made his restaurant right here called Hart Restaurant. Bums right there. He's right across the street from Chick-fil-A. We need to take a tour. We're going to take a tour. We need to take a tour. Yeah, I'm going to make a video on my phone. Okay, we're going to take a tour of Hollywood. Kevin Hart has made his restaurant right here on La Brea. It's bums all up in here. Across the street from Chick-fil-A, across the street from the school. Hollywood High School is where my daughter used to go to school. Well, she used to go to school there a long time ago. Well, it's bums there. It's bums right here. I'm on Sunset and okay. So there's bums right here. The streets are disgusting, and the cops. They just drive. They drive the helicopters. They see everything. They it's the city mayor that's linked to the cops that are okay with it. And then they say, well, we don't have a solution. You damn right you don't have a solution. We know you don't have a solution, or you would have solved. No. You wouldn't have solved it, even if you had the solution. Look at me. I sent in the proposal to this white city mayor in Chino. And instead of her giving me a letter of approval or disapproval, I get harassments from the apartment manager who is Mexican, and she's illegal. She's not even she's literally illegal. No paperwork. She married herself into this country and had a baby. Bitch, you still illegal. You're still a criminal. If you help the city mayor and put me out of my home when I'm trying to solve the problem that you caused. You see, so you're an illegal Mexican criminal. Her name is Norma Waterman, and she's an illegal person that's a criminal with the city mayor. Because how come the banker that was on the same bid as me, on the same city bid as me, how come he didn't get an eviction notice? How come the banker didn't get an eviction notice? How come he didn't get harassed? How come he didn't go to jail? Because you're racist. And it just showed everything. And you can prove it from the Los Angeles other city. I'm not now the Los Angeles city mayor that I'm working with now. She's the same color as me, and she's new. So she's a new city mayor, same color as me, and she did everything she was supposed to do. I'm telling you, we finna have this building. I have an appointment on the 18th with contractors because she hooked me up. I'm telling you, she hooked me up. She did everything you were supposed to do. When you put a proposal into the mayor and you say there's a problem over here in my community, can you help fund my project? Guess what? They're paid to help fund your project. That's what the city mayor is paid to do. If they removed you from your land and they don't know how to cure the problem, they better find somebody to cure the problem because they can't fix it. Okay, so if you can't fix the problem, you're gonna have to find somebody to fix the problem. Okay, so most likely it'll be somebody that's indigenous to the land who's my color. Okay, since we have the compassion and white people who were made last do not have it. They lack the melanin. So if you're white, you're gonna lack compassion. Why do you think even Trump? he has some sort of humility to him, because he went to the Indian Affairs Department and said, you Indians, you people don't look like Indians to me, and the Indians don't look like the Indians because they're not. He was talking about Pocahontas is not indigenous. The stringy hair Pocahontas, bitch, you are from Russia, okay? Your ass walked here with your people from the Barren Straits, like you said, and you came on teepees on your back. See, you're walking with teepees on your back, while we were living in castles and big, huge universities. And we had universities in 1700s, 1800s. We had castles. We were living in castles while Pocahontas people was carrying teepees on their back. So when you see a teepee, that means that the Indians came here homeless in teepees. That's what that means. And it's nothing. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just being truthfully honest. You know what I mean? This is just what it is. I'm just truthfully honest. Oh, it's so dark. Why is it so dark? Oh my goodness. It's just too dark. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Let's see if you can. It's just too dark. I'm sorry. My daughter's apartment. It's dark. I should have set it up in the den. Let me see if her den is. Her den is dark as she lives in this apartment where it's like other. That's another thing that's too. It's like so many apartments that's crammed to another, crammed next to each other, where the sunlight is just blocked out. Building here, building there, and there's really, no sunlight. That's the problem with people who think that they own this land. They just went plumb crazy on these apartments. You got apartments on top of apartments. You're not supposed to have that cramp like that. But okay, whatever. It's absolutely corrupt, because we've been taken over by people who are not human. Basically, that's what happened. We've been taken over. People who type in. I'll leave a link. I'll leave two links where where I'm telling you, you're gonna find out that you've been living a lie, because the people that created the lie is not human. It's not human. And I noticed it, of course, when I got grown, because when I was a teenager and a child, everything was lovely. I'm old school. I'm old school. I was, born 1968. So mine was the 70s era. So I didn't know anything about, people who were reptilians that would look like normal people, but they're really reptilians and they're not human. I didn't know nothing about that. Didn't know that it was corrupt until I got older, and now it's just out there. You could just see the difference between the two. You could see how you're supposed to be living a normal, happy life. You're supposed to be living a life where, you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be living a life where you were when you were a child. For me, when I was a child, I had a wonderful childhood. It was, it was innocent. Everything was pure. Everything was innocent. It wasn't. I mean, even when I heard about marijuana, I thought that was freaky. Like, ooh, marijuana, that's freaky. That's for that. Now, shit, that's my medicine. Mm-hmm. And you gotta have some medicine. I'm telling you, you gotta have something to live in this world. You gotta have something that can calm you down in this world. And marijuana is a choice, because they got us fucked up. Okay, so anyway, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be filming in another location where I live at too. I live here and I live there. Now they're saying, Kathy, I want you to do a story on me. It's like, I will do a story on you. I will. Shit, that's what my whole thing is about. I want to do a story on the homelessness in the homeless shelters that I'm at, and these are women, and listen, this is going to be a movie too. It's called Central Park in Los Angeles, or it'll be Trading Places too, with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Eddie Murphy would be leading the way. He would have to find the one with the cure, because remember, Eddie Murphy was homeless, and it's just bothering Eddie. You know, Eddie still. This is in the movie Trading Places. I already written out the film treatment. Eddie is still rich with Winthorpe, but it's bothering Eddie because Eddie knows all about the homeless situation, and it's bothering him because it's increasing. The homelessness is increasing. So him and his friend Dan is like, him and his friend Winthorpe is gonna come up with a plan. But so anyway, you're gonna love this movie. I'm telling you right now. Trading Places too. I read out the film script. It's with the business plan that I have a meeting with on the 28th, and you'll see it. But it's the story of Eddie, of Valentine, and me about curing this homeless problem. That's what the Trading Places is about. Because it has to come out. Trading Places too. Okay, so or it'll be labeled Central Park in Los Angeles, and it'll just be all about the story about what happened, what's going on, how the homelessness started, with the history and everything, like I was telling you, and it's going to show all of that and how it really happened, to how the cure will be made. The creator of the promised land is me. It's just what I do. Been the creator of the promised land since I could remember. I don't know. But anyway, okay, so I got a lot of people. Okay, so I'm gonna get off this video, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm gonna be making my videos in where Marilyn Monroe used to stay at, Betty White, all of the women stars used to stay in this Hollywood YWCA studio center, because that's what it says on the building. It says, and it's an old building. It's an old, like I don't know. It's like it was built in 1900, like not 1910, but 1900, like older than 1910. That building is the walls. It's just, everything is concrete. It's just, that's a bad facility. It's got many different rooms. Anyway, I'm going to make my facility not like that, but it's, of course, not going to be like that. It's really nice. It's a really nice facility, but mine's going to be immediate housing. And now the housing would be for people who work for me. So you will have immediate housing, and you would work for, you work for the company. And what we would do is we would basically go out, see the sites here, and we would build. Now the establishment where the homeless will be living at is outside of the city limits, off the 514 freeway. I know exactly where they should be at, because it's beautiful over there. And they will be living in individual units called gazebo units. Gazebos is where you live in and out, like your apartment is an open space, because the people that live on these streets, they can't be confined into walls. They can't live in a normal apartment. They can't live in a normal house. They can't do that. They're gone. So they have to live in an open, closed space area. So they'll have their housing gazebos. So picture a gazebo. You know how you walk up on a gazebo and it's open? Okay, walk in a gazebo, it's open, but then there's other rooms that you can go into that's private. Your bathroom, your bedroom, and the dining room and storage eating area. There is no kitchen, because no, there's no kitchen, but there is your bedroom, dining room, eating area, storage, bathroom. But then you have your open gazebo units that you have, and you have your roundabout backyard, front yard. This is for the homeless that's living out in the streets, okay? And in the center of it is the SSHEA facility that you see, the post, the picture there that you see. It's the SSHEA facility. So what it is that it's a stadium dome arena that people who work there would be housed there. People like you and me would be housed there when we oversee everything. Now, the people who are out in the streets that, they're mentally ill, they would be back, I'll say about 5 miles back behind all facilities in their own area, to where we can see them. The front part of the SHEA facility will be 5 miles up ahead, which would have like a theme park area where, normal people would be living at and everything, because we have to have some sort of financial backing to back up our services, our housing services for the mentally ill. What I mean by mentally ill, I mean like there are men out here who are homeless and they be like half naked, nasty. Come on now. I'm talking about real severely just go to Hollywood and Los Angeles, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh my God, how could people live like that? No, it's not how could people live like that. It's how could the city mayor allow this to happen? How could the news channels allow this to happen? How? Because you're not human, and see, this is what white people think is. They'll remove you from your home and they'll become rich from it. Then they'll sit in their cars with their tinted windows, locked doors, and they'll go inside their facility safe. While outside is just like hell. You see, it's like, why would you create the outside hell and you going into your comfy, cozy apartment and house and business, but you gotta lock your doors when you come out? What a sorry ass life, because you can't even walk. This is what they can do. White people cannot go outside their building and just have a nice stroll and go to the store across the street. They can't do that. They got to get in their cars, lock their door, and drive to another better area, better facility, because they done messed it up where they're at. I'm talking about Netflix. You know Netflix? Go outside of Netflix. Where's Netflix? Netflix is, where am I at? Oh, okay. So Netflix is up this street because this is Sunset. So, because Netflix is on my street. I live in between Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset. Okay, so it's up by Gower. Bums is right in front of Netflix building. Okay? Paramount Studios, like the building studio right here, none but bums. So what they do is they get into their cushy car and lock their doors and drive out. You know how sick that is? Netflix people that work in those buildings can't go downstairs and walk outside their front yard and just be like, I'm going to go to the park across the street and get some flowers, or I'm going to go to Trader Joe's, and just, they can't walk. No, because it's bums, and these bums are violent. Man, me and my daughter almost got attacked right here on La Brea and Sunset. That's what made me send the proposal to the city mayor. Like, oh, you're going to do something about this? We almost got attacked. And it wasn't just me. It was other white people that we were trying to cross the street. I was trying to get to Ross because, to buy some dresses and stuff. I bought this at Ross. But anyway, we were trying to get to Ross department store. And it was a violent bum. The moment it was white people here, we were all, it was like 6 other white people. And the bum was running up on the white people and doing all this and stuff. And I was like, damn. So I had to, I pulled out my shit, shit that I had. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you do whatever you want to do, but we trying to cross this fucking street. So you do what you want to do. And I'm like this, well, you do what you want to do, but we just, what I'm saying. So he got away from me. That's right. You get poked all day, bitch, coming over here. So he went away from me, of course, and was messing with these white people that was trying to cross the damn street. And these were tourists. I had to whip out my shit, my little, and be like, oh, I don't know what you're doing, but you make sure you stay on the way from us over here, because we're trying to get with the longest light ever. So he was, like, yeah, get back, pokey all day, and this motherfucker fucking with me, I'm like that, get your ass. So he went on with the white people, messing with the white people. Finally, the light turned green so we can cross the street. We crossed the street, and that's so crazy. That's not the only time I've seen like crazy shit happen from these bums that's on the streets. They're violent. Anyway, the white people was getting terrorized while me and my daughter was crossing the street. Because they was, bum was all in their face, like, doing all this and shit, like, ugh, get your stinking ass out. Well, anyway, it's just different incidences like that's going on where white people, Mexican people who are normal people trying to walk the streets, trying to get to a store, get to the library, whatever, it's being confronted by these crazy bums. That's how bad it is. And the police, they can't do anything about it, because what they say is, well, we can't stop a person from living. It's like, oh, no. If you can remove a mother and her kids out of her house from an illegal eviction, like you always do, oh, trust and believe. You can definitely move a stinking ass bum from a corner that he's not supposed to be on and into a better place where he needs to be. He needs hospice care. All of these bums here need hospice care, meaning that you live in your facility, but there is a nurse and security staff to help you. A nurse and security staff, and that's what we have. We have, the SHEA facility. You got to see the SHEA facility. Go on my website, www.catherinepromise.land, and you'll see the SHEA facility. It's a stadium dome arena that we would live in. On top, VIP section on top. Condominium units, beautiful condominium units. Our kitchen balcony overlooks the stadium dome arena. Our front yard is the theme park. Okay, it's the theme park for our children and our teenagers to play, and grown-ups to play in our theme park. 7 to 8 miles back from the entire facility, it will be a lake and a bridge. That is where the homeless will be living at, that we would be able to oversee. And we got to oversee that. Security will be there, and we will give them the hospice care that they need, because they have to be placed outside of the city areas, because they can't live on a street. I'm telling you, they live on the street, on the sidewalk, where you trying to walk to the library. Ooh, and the sidewalks is absolutely disgusting. Feces is everywhere. Okay? Yeah, they shit on the, man, I'm telling you, they shit on the sidewalk. So when I go to Beverly Hills, which is down here, you go to Beverly Hills down here, just take the bus straight down here, and it's beautiful. Why? Because the security level is where no tolerance. Okay, well, you're gonna have to have that on every business that is no tolerance. You can't have that. How come you have it lovely and nice in Beverly Hills, but just right outside that, boom, it's like hell. So like, ooh, because it's controlled. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hi y'all. I'm just rambling. Yes. Oh, I know that's right. Hi, Patience. Oh my goodness, I miss you. Where you been, Patience? Where you been, Patience?